So either you're gonna put a bolster here, and let's all go on our right side so that everybody's doing the same thing. And you're gonna lay down on your side with your arms stretched out. And if it feels better in the beginning, you can have your elbows bent, because I want to take a couple of moments to connect with your breath. And if you wear glasses, you might take them off so the legs don't poke into the side of your head. And so at first, I just want you to settle into the ground and take a few breaths. Notice how your body's feeling. And I think many of you have done this with me before, but it's one of my favorite ways to start to loosen up the neck and shoulders. And so noticing how you're feeling, how it feels to be on the ground. Hopefully no one falls asleep. And we're gonna stack the arms now. Once your breath is connected, we're gonna stack the arms on top of one another. So you have your right arm on the ground, the left arm is on top, and you're gonna keep your elbows straight, and then just slowly start to glide that left arm up the right arm. And you open up, I'll stand up over here for a second. You're just gliding, keeping the elbows straight, and you're just letting that top shoulder move front to back. And this whole time that we're on the floor, if it feels comfortable, you can have your eyes closed, and you're just gliding, and you're noticing, like, what does it feel like in your neck as you slide that arm back and forth? What does it feel like in your shoulder blades, in your back body? And you might start to deepen a little bit, meaning move a little bit further, or not, right? Exploration, you're exploring and seeing how you feel. Now, when you feel like you're complete with that, you're going to come to a stop with your hands stacked up on top of one another. And the next movement, you're going to keep your right arm stationary, come up onto your left fingertips, and you're going to start to walk that left hand overhead. So you're just kind of creepy crawling with your fingers on the floor, and you're only going to go as far as you can, still keep your fingers attached to the ground. And then you'll come back to that other hand. So keep your fingertips on the floor, and you're just walking up overhead, and then walking back to that hand. And you're just moving through your left arm. You know, and you're looking for that information, right? And it's okay if the elbow bends now. Some of you, you know, your head or your shoulder may open up, your head may turn a little bit. You're just moving in a way that feels good. And again, when you feel like you've had enough of that motion, you'll come back to a place where your hands are stacked upon one another. And pause for a moment, notice any sensations that you're feeling. And then when you're ready, keeping your eyes, whether your eyes are open or closed, you're keeping your head pointed towards your hands. You're going to start to inhale as you open up your arm, and then bring it back. And your head can turn with your arm, and you can open up, again, as far as it feels good. You're just opening up that arm. The head is following the hand in a way that feels good. You're breathing and in and out as you're moving, no rush. You might find that you want to pause in a particular position and take a full breath there. And again, when you start to feel like, okay, I think I've had enough on this side, you're going to pause with your hands stacked on top of one another, and then you're going to bring your knees up in line with your hips, so you have a 90-degree angle with your legs. And this part is a little more interesting because we're gonna glide that top leg front to back. So just like you did with your shoulder, you're just sliding your knee forward and your hip back, right? So your knees are bent and you're just gliding that leg front to back. So this is a great time to explore how the low back feels and the hips as you're gliding. So it's not bringing the leg down, it's you keep your legs as they are and you just go front to back. It's an awkward movement. Are you okay with my hands for a second?
Yes, like you can't see and do it.
Yes, yes. So bring your knees up a little bit. And no, it's just a glide to start to loosen up around the pelvis. Are you okay with my hands? It's just right there, just like that. So do you feel those sensations as you just glide front to back? Okay, my hands up? Yeah. So relax this. How's that? All right, now we're gonna add in the shoulder or the arm and the leg. So now you're gliding both the arm and the leg. And you're still moving with your breath, there's no rush. You're noticing how everything feels as you're gliding. Then we're gonna pause for a moment, because that's actually kind of tiring, gliding that leg front, at least for me. Now we're going to just work with the legs again, and you can either keep your left foot on the ground and open up your left knee, or you can lift the whole leg, right? So either foot stays on the ground and you're opening the knee out, or you're lifting the leg up. And again, you're only going to a place that feels really good in your body. And this one might feel like a lot of work too, right? Because our legs have big muscles and big bones. So just noticing, making sure it feels okay in your pelvis and your hips and your low back as you're doing this. And again, when you feel like you've had enough, you're gonna pause for a moment and you can keep going with any of these movements that I'm talking about. And then when you're ready to start moving again, we're gonna lift up the arm and the leg. So and your whole body may open up. So you're just opening arm and leg, your body, your chest may open up, your head may turn. You're just kind of exploring how your body wants to move as you're here. You could even consider this somewhat playful. Now, again, when you start to feel complete with this, we're going to pause for a moment. Just notice, like how has your heart rate changed, your body temperature, do you feel a little bit looser? And then when you're ready, you're going to switch to the second side. So you're just going to roll right over and stretch out your left arm on the ground with your right arm on top. And try not to rush ahead. Try to give this side of the body the same attention that you did on the second side. So the arms are stacked up again. And then in your own time, we're going to start to glide that right arm front to back, keeping the elbows straight. Noticing what's happening in your neck, in your shoulder, as you're moving. Again, when you start to feel complete with that movement, you're going to come up onto those right fingertips and start keeping the fingertips connected to the floor. You'll let the elbow bend as much as it wants to as you start to walk your right fingers over top. come back to your left hand. Walking through your arm, no rush, continuing to breathe. Your head may start to turn a little bit or not. Breathing and gliding through that upper arm. And as you start to feel complete, when your hands are back together, we'll pause for a moment. And in your own time, we'll start to arc the right arm up into the air. Your head may follow your hand. Your chest may open up all the way. It's you noticing how your body wants to move this morning. Now again, when the hands come back together and you're feeling complete, you're gonna pause for a moment. You might bend your elbows and relax your arms. You're noticing how the upper body feels. Then you're gonna bend your knees and bring them up in line with your hips so it's a 90-degree angle, and you're gonna start to glide through that right leg. So you're just sliding front to back. Teeny tiny little movement for many of us through your pelvis. It's amazing what these small, slow movements can do to start to help with circulation and flexibility. Whenever you're ready, you'll add in gliding through the arm and the leg. It's just gliding front to back with the arm, with the leg, using your breath. And again, you're noticing sensation. You're not forcing anything, not rushing anything. Just noticing what is. Now, eventually we'll come to the place where we pause for a moment, and our final movement in this position is going to be to lift the leg and the arm. And again, you can keep the foot on the ground and open the knee, or you can lift the foot up off the ground as you're opening and closing it. You can move the shoulders, the head. Now imagine that you were 5 or 7 and doing this. How might the movement look? You might even giggle a little bit. So once you feel complete with that movement, you're going to pause, reconnect with your breath. We're going to take the bolster or the blanket out from under your head and move onto your back with your knees bent. And so find a comfortable distance for your feet and just let those arms relax on the ground. And we're going to just tilt through the pelvis. So inhale, point your pubic bone up towards the sky. Exhale, point it towards the ground. Just tilting through the pelvis. Noticing what is. Eventually coming to a place where we pause. We're going to bring the hands onto the legs. And now inhale is going to be with the body on the ground, and exhale, we're going to slide the hands up the legs. Your shoulders and head may come off the ground. If it doesn't feel good to lift the head, you'll keep the head on the ground and just glide the arms. Right? And notice whether or not you're lifting your head. Notice what happens in your abdominal muscles as you're gliding those arms up. Now, next time your head comes to the ground, you're gonna pause for a moment and then reach for your left knee. And holding on to that knee, we're gonna start to make some circles. They can be as big or as small as you'd like. And pausing will shift to the other direction. And again, when you start to feel done, we'll release the left foot to the ground. And then slide that right knee in. And starting to make circles. And again, as quickly or slowly or as big or small as it feels good in your body. Pausing and switching direction. And this time, when you're done, we're going to keep that knee towards the chest and then bring in your left knee. So now we have both knees towards our body. And let's bring the knees so that they're right over the hips, so perpendicular to the ground. And inhale is going to be this position with our head on the ground. Exhale, we're going to reach the head and the knees towards one another. Inhale, head down, knees perpendicular to the ground. Exhale, head comes towards the knees. And again, if it doesn't feel good to lift your head off the ground, just bring your knees towards your chest. You're moving with your breath. Noticing all those wonderful sensations. And then next time your head is on the ground, we're going to carefully return our feet to the floor one at a time and stretch those arms out to the sides. Now with this one, because some of you were talking about your necks before, I want you to pay attention as you're moving. We're going to inhale, head and knees pointing towards the sky. Exhale, knees in one direction, head in the other direction. Inhale, back to the center, and second side. So no rush, moving with your breath. Again, if it doesn't feel good to turn the head, you'll just move the knees. And next time you finish your second side, we'll pause in the center, and then we're going to roll over to our side. And you can use your hands to help you come up to a seated position. So hopefully everybody feels a little bit warmed up. I actually feel a little bit warmer from doing that, which is very surprising to me. We're going to find our tennis balls. And then with your knees bent, we do this all the time, butt stays on the ground, you're going to press those tennis balls in the front and stretch your legs out a little bit. And then either moving your pelvis front to back, kind of pedaling through your feet, you can do that, or you can take your knees side to side, or a combination, right? We're trying to get to that place where the hamstrings connect to the pelvis and start to loosen it up a little bit. And then we're going to take those tennis balls and lift up one bit, not all the way off the ground, and place the tennis ball in there, and then lift the second side and put the tennis ball in there. We're going to walk our feet in towards pull them out a little bit to the sides. Some of us have more muscle in this area, and so now we have the bottoms of our feet towards one another, and you're just going to move side to side into the tennis ball. Right. So, and if it's excruciating, you might even take the tennis balls out, right? And you could put your hand there for a little bit of resistance, or
That's fine.
now we're going to take your left knee to the ground and come into that side. And for some of you, that's gonna be a lot. So use your hands and your legs to not have so much pressure in that tennis ball. But like I said, get rid of that pesky little. And I like to kind of move back and forth, but some of you might like to just settle in to the tennis ball.
She said, oh,
No,
I was like, there, you know.
they wanted you to, it makes a nicer picture.
Yes. Whatever.
Now, again, we're going to, in your own time, lift up those knees. You might have to replace where your tennis ball goes, and then we're gonna come to the second side. And remember, like, taking the tennis ball away from the bone a little bit will help.
Is it supposed to be
So it's,
on Lydia's?
yes. I mean, there's so many wonderful places back there. All right, so how are we doing so far, okay? Now, when you're ready, you'll come back to the center. We're gonna take both tennis balls and you're gonna sit up. So again, your butt's totally on the ground. You're not sitting on the balls, and you're gonna place the tennis balls at the back of your pelvis and lean into them. And some of you, like I like to just have my elbows bent. Some of you may come down onto your elbows. You're gonna see what feels good in your low back, and just, again, gently moving your knees side to side or pelvis front to back. Keep breathing. So we said hips, low back, and shoulders and neck. Those are in balance. All right, so again, coming to a place where we pause, we're gonna set the tennis balls to the side now. Your glutes are probably, yay! And we're going to come up to standing. So you might have your blocks in front, you might come onto your knees, but you're gonna figure out a way that you are going to get yourself up to a standing position. And then we're gonna bring the hands onto the legs, and it's okay here if you have a little bend in your knees. We're just gonna come halfway up. Inhale is up, exhale into your forward bend. So we're still warming up and exploring what's happening in our bodies, moving with the breath. Now, next time you come into your forward bend, and if you're not towards the front of your mat, you might get yourself there. We're gonna step back with the right foot into a nice deep lunge. So your feet are hip width apart, front knee is over the ankle. And while we're here, now I want you to kind of come up onto your back toes and then reach that heel towards the ground. Now, and for most of us humans, the heel will not come to the ground, but you're going to stretch a little bit as you reach that heel towards the ground. And you're also getting a nice little stretch through your feet as you come up onto those toes. Now, next time your heel starts to reach towards the ground, we're going to pause for a moment. We're going to start to straighten that front leg. Taking a breath, and then you're going to come up onto your front heel. And now the movement is going to be bringing your front toes to the ground and lifting them up. Anybody getting a little stretch in their hamstring? You're speechless. All right, so next time the foot comes down, let's bend that front knee and step your right knee forward, and then we'll step the left leg back. And again, check out your stance, feet hip width apart, knee over the ankle. I'm going to start to come up onto the back toes and reach that heel towards the ground. still breathing. Here's some snapping. Maybe that was me. So again, next time that heel comes towards the ground, you're gonna straighten the front leg. Just take a breath or two here. And in your time, when you're ready, we're gonna start to lift those front toes and then take the toes back to the ground. Oh yes, thank you for clarifying. Yes, we're lifting keeping the heel on the ground and lifting the rest of the foot. Now, next time your foot comes down, we're gonna bend that front knee and step forward. Bring those hands onto your legs. Inhale, come on all the way up. All right, and find your tennis ball. One tennis ball. You're gonna roll through the feet for just a moment. Just kind of stretch the ball out a little bit. I know, every time. You would think that it would, after 10 or 15 years of doing this,
You wouldn't be surprised. You're like,
I know. And we're gonna do the second side. All right, so, and as you start to feel done on that side, we're gonna put those tennis balls in a safe place and find a comfortable stance on your mat, feet about hip width apart. And you're gonna take your vision towards your left arm. And as you breathe, you're gonna lift that arm and follow the fingertips with your eyes, coming back to whatever place is comfortable, and then coming back to the center on the exhale, and then second side. And this gives us a good idea, like as far as range of motion and how, in your shoulder, in your neck, you're just kind of noticing what happens as you move that. We'll do each side one more time, no rush. And whenever you make your way back to center, we're going to inhale those shoulders up and exhale them slide down your back. And let's take one at a time, one shoulder at a time. Then we're going to switch directions. So you're going to roll one shoulder at a time forward. And see if you can feel what happens. Like I feel a stretch behind my shoulder blades as I'm doing that. So just kind of seeing what happens as you do so. And then pausing for a moment, we're going to make our way towards the front of your mat. And the first movement here, we're going to inhale those arms up and possibly come up onto your toes. And you can bring your arms to shoulder height, up overhead, and just kind of exploring what feels good as you're moving those arms. Now, next time the arms come down, we're going to turn our palms back, so palms are facing back. And you might start with keeping your feet flat on the ground or come up onto your toes. We're going to inhale, press up with your arms. So it's almost like you're going to dive into the pool, but you're keeping your body upright. And again, just noticing what happens as you move. And next time your arms come down, we'll pause and we're going to make like cacti. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to bring the elbows, forearms, and palms together. And so you're pressing in towards the center. Try not to let your elbows drop to your chest. Lift them up. Then we're going to reach the fingertips up towards the sky. So again, for some of us, this could be a teeny tiny movement. All right, next time that you relax those elbows down, we're going to shake out the arms for a moment. Maybe roll through the shoulders. All right, and then we'll become cacti again. Now, if this next movement doesn't feel good in your shoulders, you're going to go to this one that we just did. So you might start with your right elbow forward, left elbow over top, backs of the hands and or palms together, and then lifting those elbows up off of your chest. Just pause here for a moment, because notice what happens in your shoulders, in your neck. And then, only if you choose, you're going to sit back like you're putting your body into a chair. And then find your focus. And then feel your weight in your right foot. And then possibly you're going to lift that left leg over top, keeping your standing leg bent. Now you could have the foot on the ground lifted or wrapped around your calf. And keep breathing. And remember, you make whatever changes, modifications you need to feel good here. Now on an inhale, we're going to release it all. And you all know, I always say, like, I feel like we're building energy when we're in the pose, and then we're extending that through our limbs as we release. So we're going to try the second side. So left elbow to center, possibly right elbow over top, backs of the hands and palms together, lift those elbows up. When and if you're ready, so take a moment, focus, sit back, and then we're going to possibly bring that left leg over top, keeping your standing leg bent. Breathe and focus. Long, smooth breaths. And again, you feel that energy building, maybe it shows up as heat. When you're ready, inhale, release. Exhale back to the center. And then let's bring those hands onto our legs. We're going to inhale up, exhale into our forward bend. Inhale halfway up. Exhale into your forward bend. We're going to take the hand onto the blocks or onto the ground. We're going to step, or we're actually going to lift the right leg behind us. Find your balance so the foot's flexed. Now stay with me here. I want you all to be safe, right? From here, we're going to bring in that knee towards our head. So that's our exhale. Inhale, extend the head and the leg. Exhale, come in. Inhale, extend. One more time. And then we'll place that foot on the ground. Continue to breathe. Extend the left leg, or right leg now. Inhale, extend, exhale, head towards the knee. One more time. And then we're going to place that foot on the ground. And then we're going to step back with your right foot, keeping your feet hip width apart. We're going to keep the legs straight and both feet pointing forward, right? And for a lot of us, I think having blocks here is helpful. So, and your feet, depending on your height, might be like a meter apart. Now from here, we're going to keep that right hand on the ground or on your block. Left hand is going to come free, and you're going to take your vision towards that left hand. You're going to start to inhale that arm up towards the sky, and exhale back towards your leg. Inhale up and open, exhale back. One more time. And when your hand comes down, I'm gonna step that back foot forward. Stepping back with your other foot, again, toes pointing forward on both feet. Feet hip width apart. Again, we're gonna keep that left hand on the ground, vision towards the right hand as you start to reach up towards the sky on your inhale. Exhale back towards your right. Moving with your breath. Your head can follow your arm if that feels good. Exploration. And next time your hand comes back, you're going to bend that front knee and step back into some level of plank, and you could be on your knees. Right, so you have knees up or down here. If you're on your knees, you might like a little blanket under your knees. And now the movement is either going to be plank to down dog, or plank with your knees down towards puppy pose, or child's pose, depending on how your hips are moving today. So inhale, forward, exhale. Now, next time we come forward, we are going to gently bring your knees to the ground. So definitely have a blanket if that feels better. And then walk those hands back. So now we're in a kneeling position. How are we doing? A little warm? I'm like so amazed I can feel this warm. All right, so how are those necks and shoulders doing? A little bit. All right, so we're gonna start by bringing your chin towards the chest. Now, and if you don't like being on your knees, that doesn't work for your body, you could sit on your butt and do what we're doing, or you could stand up. Okay, so we're just gonna bring the chin towards the chest. So inhale, head up, exhale, chin comes down. Now, next time your head comes up, we're gonna look over the shoulder. And I want you, and it's hard to tell when you don't have a mirror right in front of you, but I want you to see if you can keep your chin in its regular plane as you turn the head. So some of us lift it, some of us drop it. So you're gonna try to just keep it in a neutral position as you turn. Next time you do your second side, we're going to pause for a moment. And then this time we're going to bring the chin forward. And then you're going to, so your chin is forward, you're going to reach the shoulder, no, you're going to reach the ear towards the shoulder. So your chin is forward, and then you're tilting the head, the ear towards the shoulder. And then come back to the center, chin still tilts. Still tilted down, and then reach your other ear towards the other shoulder. So going side to side. So what happens when we have the chin tilted like that, you probably feel a little stretch in the outside back of your, like the side and back of your head. And then when you finish your second side, head back to the center, inhale the head up, and we're gonna come down to a seated position, and let's have a block close by and a strap close by. How's everybody doing? Gonna connect with your breath. So your legs are extended out in front of you. You could have a little blanket under your pelvis. And we're going to take the strap around both feet on the padded part of your feet and see if you can have your feet hip width apart. And then we're going to walk our our hands down the strap so that your elbows are straight. So kind of elbows are straight, knees are straight, and your head is over your shoulders, shoulders over the hips. Inhale, body up. Exhale, you're just going to bend your elbows and reach your heart towards your leg. Inhale up. Exhale, bend the elbows, and you're kind of pulling on the strap as you bend the elbows, and you're reaching your heart towards your legs. One more time. And then when you come up, we're going to take the strap off, and we're going to open the legs into a wide angle with your feet bent. What is going on here today? Feet flexed. And when you do this, I want you to make sure that, like, if you had to, you could open your legs a little bit more, like you're not at the deepest place that you can go. And we're gonna take the hands onto the hips, inhale, body up, and exhale, heart forward. So your head, again, is staying in line with your body. We're just trying to move the body forward. Then from here, we're going to bring your right leg to center, and then bend the left knee and place it to the inner thigh. So your leg is coming forward, and if your knee is up in the air, you can put a blanket or a block underneath it, and we're going to find our strap again. We're going to put it around the padded part of our foot, and once more walk our hands down the strap. And what I want you to explore, like as the strap is around your foot and your arms are straight, I want you to bring your shoulders in line with your body. Right? So for some of us, it's a little work because we have to actually pull on the strap to get those shoulders back. And again, we're going to inhale, body up, exhale, bend your elbows and bring your body towards the knee. Inhale up, exhale, come forward. Now, next time you come up, I want you to walk your hands down the strap a little bit, yet keep your shoulders back. We're going to do a little breathing practice while we're here. So this is actually core work, you know, people are like, let's do core, you know. So your shoulders are back in line with your body. You're pulling on the strap, and I want you to take a nice big inhale. And as you exhale, I want you to use those abdominal muscles to help you press the air out. I mean, that's what happens, but I want you to consciously inhale in, exhale, engage your abdominal muscles as you're exhaling. Of course, if it doesn't make sense, let me know. It should be a little bit of work, right? It might build a little bit of heat. And then we're going to let go of the strap, inhale up and exhale down as deeply as you want to. Take a couple of nice full breaths. And on one of those inhales, let's come on up. And then we're gonna straighten out those legs, shake them for a minute. And then keeping your left leg straight, we're gonna bring the right knee in. And again, if the knee is up in the air, you might put something underneath it for a little bit of support, and then we'll take the strap around the padded part of the foot. Walk your hands down your strap. Bring those shoulders in line with your body. So do you feel those muscles in the back body kind of engaging as you pull on that strap? And then we're going to inhale, body up, exhale, bend the elbows, body comes forward. Inhale up, exhale forward. And next time you come up, we're going to walk the hands down the strap a little bit and bring your shoulders back. So there's a little bit of tension here when I do that, right? I've walked my hands down, I'm pulling on the strap, so I can feel my body working already to hold me here. And And then nice big inhales, and as you exhale, and if you use Ujjayi, this would be a great place, Ujjayi breathing, to do that. That's when we close the back of the throat a little bit. So nice big inhale, engaging the abdominal muscles as you exhale. And then you're going to release the strap, inhale up, exhale to whatever level feels best in your body. And on an inhale, come on all the way up. This next one that I want to do, kind of thinking, because I know some of you have, trouble being on your knees. Yeah, we'll do it on our back body. So now I want you to think about what's the safest way for you to get onto your backs, right? So you might bend your knees and roll over to the sides. You're gonna get yourself down to the ground, or you can roll right back if some of you do that. And we're going to bring in the right knee, keeping that right foot flexed. We're gonna bring it across our body. So your foot is, you're holding your right knee, right foot is flexed. You're gonna reach for that heel or ankle on your left foot and take that across your body. So hold on to you, so I hold the ankle with my left hand. So lay back, I'll show you. So this comes up, and then flex this foot. This hand comes to this hand, and goes down. So you feel that, yes. All right, now from here, we're gonna hold on to that leg, and you're going to lift up your left leg and put your thigh on the back of that ankle. So now your thigh is holding your leg in place. And in your own time, as always, when you're ready, you'll gently place that left foot on the ground, uncross your legs. You might need to shift your pelvis to get back to neutral. And then we're gonna lift up the left knee, keeping the left foot flexed. And again, bringing that leg towards the body with the foot flexed. And whenever you feel like you're ready to, you're gonna lift up that right thigh, place it on the outside of the left ankle. So you're using your muscles to hold your legs in this place. And of course, still gently breathing. And when you're complete, taking the right foot to the ground, and then gently the left, and rolling over to a side and sitting yourself up. And for this last set of poses, you can either use, you can take your blanket in the Tadasana position and fold it once and place it on your mat. You can use a bolster. For some people, the bolster is too big to do this, and some of you actually might like a roll. Right? And we're gonna put that support under your head and body, but your butt is gonna be on the floor. And you wanna make sure that the low back feels supported. And you could have your legs straight or bent or crossed or whatever position feels good for you, because our focus is gonna be on the upper body. one more time, we're gonna make like cacti, like we did when we were standing up. And the inhale will be arms open up, exhale, elbows towards one another. Inhale, open up your arms, exhale, open up towards one another. Eventually, we're going to stop moving our arms and gently place them on the ground. And then we're gonna turn the head to one side. We're gonna do both. So depending on what you're resting on, like I'm on a blanket roll, and so my head actually comes off, not of my body. It's one of my superpowers.
That was fabulous.
Okay, head back to the center, second side. I know, I gave you a nice visual of your legs. And back to the center. Now, I want you to think about, first of all, is there anything else that your wonderful body needs before you move into Shavasana? And if so, I want you to do that. And if not, if you're ready, you're gonna start to make your way into whatever position you want to be in for Shavasana. If you need any ideas, let me know. Do you want another blanket? No. This will be I know, like once we stop doing any sort of movement, it definitely cools off. So as you start to get yourself settling in, possibly with each exhale, inviting your body and your mind to soften just a little bit. So when you are ready to come back, space, to your breath, to your body, take a moment to notice how you're feeling. And ask yourself, what would feel really yummy to start to reawaken your body? And you might start to make those slow, gentle movements. Like that. Now, when eventually you do come to a seated position, I just want to do a little stretch through your side bodies. So placing one hand on the ground and reaching the other arm up and just coming over to the side. Try and keep your butt on the ground. And we're going to come up and then do that second side. Again, come on up and keep one hand on the ground, walk it back, and take the opposite hand to a knee. Gentle stretch, spine is nice and long. On your exhale, coming through the center, and then second side. And exhaling to the center. If you want to join me in our 3 planetary healing sounds, inhaling those arms up towards the sky, exhaling the sound Q to the heart. Inhaling the arms out, palms open, exhaling ah to the heart. Great sound to use throughout the day. Inhaling, sweeping around you and up from the earth, the sound Om to your heart. Thank you all for joining me today, in person and online, and I thank all of my teachers, past and present, and acknowledge the lands that I live in. Have a beautiful day. Namaste.
Namaste.